Hi everyone! Today I want to talk about something super important to me, which is feminism and specifically black feminisms. So I feel like feminism in general is a major hot topic in our generation right now. It's literally become a commodity, something that you just kind of throw around, kind of like the term intersectionality or woke, whatever. There's all of these things that literally society has turned this beautiful, intentional, and intellectual practice and theory into these like hashtags, which of course that can be really productive at times, but when it becomes basically just product of capitalism, that is problematic. And so what I want to talk about today is the question, what happens when feminisms become trendy? In order to understand that question, I feel like we have to break it down into sections. So the first really important thing to talk about is what is capitalism to begin with, and what does that look like in our world today. So really, if you think about it, everything in our world runs on advertisement. The food that we eat is because we know the brand and we've seen an ad about it and our brains are familiar. The presence that we have, that's because literally there's campaigns, right? Like they're going around the country and advertising themselves and their platform. And the celebrities we see, the people that influence what we buy, what we wear, our beauty standards, that's all advertisement. And that is basically the language that capitalism uses to speak. So everything in our country and everything in the world, because of corporations, because of globalization, everything runs off of that. And so it's really important to understand that that system is the place from which these trendy hot terms come. So if I know that capitalism is basically this machine that's trying to get money at any cost and will use anything that seems like society wants, like racial reconciliation, like liberation, if they want to use that and brand it in a way that they can sell, in a way that they can make money, then we know that they're not coming from the place of actually liberating people, actually breaking down systems of power that withhold power. They're coming from the position of actually getting power. It's literally the exact opposite. Which brings me to my next section of this. It's important that we have critical thinking, eyes, ears, heart, everything in the world. We cannot afford to just let information pass into us passively. We need to be thinking about what are the messages that are coming our direction and what do they mean, and do we agree with them, do we not agree with them, creating social critique about these things. And it's not just academic. So that can come from a spoken word, that can come from a play, a musical, even a Hollywood film. I can look at it with a critical eye. What does this say about women? What does this say about people of color? What does this say about queer people? And making sure that we're not just adopting ideas and beliefs subconsciously or being coerced into thinking something makes sense and is normal and hegemonic and something isn't, without being aware. Because if everyone is saying, I'm not responsible, I just, I'm living in the world, then who's responsible? Who's going to make a difference? Who's going to make a change? So think critically and ask questions. Then we can talk about, okay, well, if some things are presented to be feminist or progressive or radical, but they aren't in fact, then what is radical? What is radical feminism? What is black feminisms? A few things that come to mind that are very critical about black feminisms is interconnectivity. So a lot of times we hear this language about queens or independent girl who doesn't need no man, and you girl, like you did it, you're killing it, Beyonce, you're killing it, whoever. But something major in black feminisms, and what I argue is actually productive for all people in terms of feminism, is interconnectivity. It's about people at every level of society, in every context. We can't allow systems to withhold from certain groups. The other thing that I think about is intergenerational. So a lot of times we talk about feminism as if it just came in the 20s in America with white women, and that was the beginning of feminism, and now women want equality, but that is just completely ignorant. There have been women fighting for liberation, fighting for their voices since the beginning of time, and it's ignorant to think that it will not continue to be passed down and changed and reified and retransformed with each culture and each time period, because of course feminism is going to look different in every culture and every time, but it's passed down through people, it's passed down through legacies. So black feminisms is interconnected, it's intergenerational. Black feminism is also love and resilience. So I am sick of seeing all of these images of oppressed black women that have no agency, that have no voice. We have seen harm on women, we have seen harm on black people, we know that that's real and exists, and it's important for people to start there, but it's also not productive to stay there, because at the end of the day, like I said in the beginning, images are constantly coming into our mind and reifying what is normal and accepted and just part of culture and what is not, because we haven't seen it before. And so if we're only showing images of oppression and victimhood, then that's the only thing that we're normalizing. So instead, let's focus on the more important and the more prevalent story of women that are resilient, that are making major differences in their work, whether it's in their own home and how they raise their children, whether it's on a huge platform, in a conference, addressing the government, talking about what needs to change and how presidency needs to redirect its focus. Yeah, it doesn't even need to be argued. It just is a fact of life that Black women are killing it and they're doing their thing, and it looks a lot of different ways. And then lastly, Black feminism is everywhere. Like I said before, it doesn't just come from a college campus. It doesn't just come from the Black Panther Party. It doesn't just come from Beyonce or whoever you want to say is inspiring you as a Black woman or as a woman who seeks the liberation or person who seeks the liberation of all people. Feminism and Black feminisms are encoded all over the world, and you just have to have the eye to see it and to recognize it. So you can find it all over the place. You can find it in the way that your mother lives her life and is building up her business. You can find it in my little sister who's teaching her entire school about gun control and how it needs to happen yesterday, right? It's all over the world and it's all over the place in a lot of different platforms. Again, connecting it to before, don't invalidate. If you see something on YouTube, or if you see a poster, or if you see even a tweet can make a difference. It can make a statement that is important, that is counter-hegemonic. So understand that when images come your way, you need to know where they come from, and you need to think critically about what they're saying and what is that industry or that website producing. What is the fruit of their message, so to speak. Then understand what is Black feminism actually. Outside of the messages you see, outside of the t-shirt that says this is what feminism looks like, what is the work and who are the workers that have been fighting for liberation for years and years and years and generations and decades, and what are their messages? And so like I said, the message of Black feminisms is interconnected, it's intergenerational, it's all over the place, and it's love and resilience. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please continue to have these conversations. Keep looking at things and talking with friends, people who agree with you, people who completely don't agree with you, and allow your definitions and your ideas and your theories to grow and transform and be formed, and allow it to turn into practice, because action and theory together is what we need to see real change in our world, in our community, and in our time. So thanks so much.